one type of fresh produce that you can grow at home all year without any expensive equipment or even a green thumb, so it's for me. To fill us in on what that is, it's Frankie Flowers. He's got info. What are we growing all year round with not a lot of knowledge and not a lot of help?
So this is for you, yes,
Yes,
indeed.
for me.
Sprouts. So when we think about it, it's so super easy. If we think about a seed, the seed's pretty remarkable. Within a seed is all the capabilities of plant. Locked in that seed, you have blooms, you have everything. And if we can just sprout that seed, we can have a lot of benefits for our own individual health as well.
Okay, and easy to grow. I mean, we're talking about it in a spring show, but really, you can do this in the heart of winter.
You can do it in the heart of winter, at the top of summer. It doesn't matter what time of year. The benefit of that as well is because if we look at the sprouts that are in this little mason jar that's here too, if we're wondering why this mason jar has a cover on it, is sprouts don't need sunlight. So as we're sprouting them, we want to restrict the amount of light that they're receiving. So if you live in an apartment, maybe a basement apartment, you don't have a lot of light, we don't need the light. We're really sprouting them to a stage of about 3 to 5 leaves.
Okay.
As soon as we get a plant over 5 leaves, that's when it needs light. So this is super easy to do.
Okay.
And you can do it with things around the house. You can do it in a mason jar, for instance, you know, just like this.
Okay.
So with a mason jar to start it off with, all we're going to need is the mason jar itself, some seeds. We could use a little bit of cheesecloth on the top.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to put the cheesecloth down and filter it like that. Or what we can do is purchase something that has a little bit of a filter there.
Yeah.
And we see that's a little bit of a filter. And what I like about these guys over here is this will even tilt and drain out because there's some steps that you need to do.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that now. Can I see that little cozy?
Yeah,
Is that what it is? Like a sprout cozy?
I call it a condom.
So it's a sprout condom. Sorry, I'll get the terminology
For full
correct.
protection.
Sun and sprouts. You want to be fully protected.
You want to be fully protected.
So how do we start our sprouting at home?
Super easy. So we want to get seeds that have been really for sprouting. So we really want to make sure that the seeds we're getting are made for this, and also if we can get them to be organic, that's really important as well. So there's many different ones that you can see out there. There's broccoli, there's radishes, there's bean sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, arugula sprouts, you name it, we can sprout it. So what we're going to do is we're always going to put in about 2 tablespoons, and I'm just going to eyeball this right here, of some seed in the base. Next, what we're going to do is you're going to open up that water that's there.
He's a professional. You really eyeballed that.
With the water, we want to make sure we're using clean water. So if you live on an area with well water, you can't use.
Do I go for it?
Go ahead. Yep. We're just going to make sure that those seeds are just covered.
This is like alkaline what? Spring water?
There. We're good.
Done.
So we're going to allow those guys to sit. And they're going to sit for about a 12-hour period overnight.
Okay.
Then after they've sat and they've actually soaked for about a 12-hour period, then what we'll do is we're going to drain them out. I'll let it drain into the little tray that's here. And by draining, I drained all over everywhere, just like there's my childhood.
Okay.
That's how I've always been. I've always been making a mess everywhere I go all my life.
I think you got to be okay with the mess if you're doing a little gardening and you're doing cooking. Like those are the things that are important. Like let the mess happen. It's all right.
But most importantly, after this, so we allowed them to, they sat for a period of time, overnight. The next day, what we're going to do is we're going to do rinse and repeat. So in the morning, we're going to rinse them, and then we're going to drain them again.
Got it.
Not allowing them to stand. And then in the evening, when we get home, we're going to rinse and repeat again. The reason why we're doing that is we want to make sure that there's moisture that's always there. That moisture is what's going to germinate the seed.
Okay.
We want to be at room temperature. And the reason why we're rinsing and repeating is we want to never have standing water. So even, for example, this is a system over here. This is a whole sprouting system that even though it'll push the water, you can see this will rotate around, the water will go around. But what we have to do is every day is get rid of the water in the base. So that's what's the reason why it's so important for clean water is if we don't use clean water and we're not getting rid of that older standing water, we can increase the chance of getting sick with bacteria, like even something like E. coli.
Right.
So as much as these guys look so wonderful, and they are so wonderful.
And they're so good for you. Right?
Yeah, there's so many nutrients that's in there.
Yeah.
Enzymes that are in there. It's so good for you overall. But we need to make sure that we're being very, very careful.
Right. Keep rinsing, repeating, and never hanging out in the standing water. You don't want to get sick from your sprouts.
Yeah.
Any other rules we need to think about? Dark. What about the temperature?
Temperature. We don't want to be too high humidity.
Okay.
So we want to be at room temperature. Darkness is really key.
Okay.
And then the other part too is after we've harvested them, if you're wondering, Well, how about I don't need that many sprouts? I only,
Right.
you know, you could use it on a sandwich. You can use it on a salad. You can put it on the garnish, on the plate, so everybody thinks you're so cute. And
so chefy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you want to store them, you can put them in a container, like a little bit of a container. That's even one of those clamshells. You can reuse a clamshell that you got from maybe you had your berries in it. You just clean that out. And they'll last for about 6 to 7 days in that clamshell. And then finally, if you're thinking about cheap, what we could do with our kids is we could take some, let's say we'll take some of the lentil seeds that we have right here, or any type of bean, soak them overnight, and then just put them in a wet paper towel and in a Ziploc bag. Within about 48 hours, what you'll have is, boom, and this one here I'm just showing as an example, you will have sprouts.
Yeah,
so
right in the paper towel.
Right in the paper towel. And if we think about kids, that immediate result of seeing something that they could grow and eat in a short period of time will get them hooked on gardening, and that's my whole purpose. I want to get people addicted to gardening.
Yes, it's a good addiction to have. It's a great addiction. My gosh, I missed the boat with my son.
Yeah.
Do I just rewind the clock, or do I try it now at 15?
You send him to me at the greenhouse, and I'll put him to work.
You put him to work. I love it. Because if they like their veggies, they're going to eat their veggies, and if they grow their veggies, they eat the veggies.
Studies have shown if we get kids growing their own food, they'll actually have a healthier eating habit for life.
Absolutely.
So that's the whole thing. And all these items that we spoke about today, you can find them when you shop the show.
That's right. You can shop that show actually with the QR code that we put up on the screen. So any of the cute little mason jars in the tray, or this, or any of the seeds, you just put your phone up, scan the code, and that takes you to wherever you can buy these items. And then you click add to cart. Thanks for that, Frankie. Good lesson there.
Have a sprouting good day.
Have a sprouting good day.